Let's grab our popcorn, ladies and gentlemen, put both our arms and feet and legs into the vehicle, and strap in for the story of the no shower experiment. All right, so picture this. Cameron and I are laying in our new bed that we just purchased from Costco, and we're cuddling in a beautiful morning, and something just tells me to turn to Cam and say, "Hey, baby, how would you feel if you didn't shower for 5 days in a row?" And immediately his reaction is, "Oh, I could never do that." And then he turns to me and says, "Now I've got to do that." And what happened right in that moment is that anytime Cam and I discover an area of unfreedom, so what unfreedom means is basically something that is holding us back, something that makes us uncomfortable, something that allows us to say something like, "I could never do that," or "I'm not that kind of person," any kind of limiting belief. We go and charge right on into it and see if we can make it dissolve through an experiment. So right in that moment, when Cam said, "Now I've got to do it," he accepted my challenge to not shower for 5 days. Now, where'd this come from? Okay. Cam and I, ever since we've been together, I have noticed, because I watch him very closely and I love him so much and he's my favorite person in the world, I really pay attention to this man. I really notice what goes on in his day-to-day life. And one thing I noticed is that he would shower 3, sometimes 4 times in a day. And I didn't bring it up until now because the spirit moved me. I felt compelled to bring it up in this very moment. But when someone showers that many times in a day, and just to bring it to life, when he wakes up, usually in the afternoon after a workout, if we go for a walk, he usually takes one right after that, and then right before bed. Okay, so that's on the days where there are 4 showers in a day. When somebody is doing something that many times, there's probably something underneath that behavior that is coming from a very deep-rooted place, usually childhood, that makes them feel like if they do not take the shower, their life is going to fall apart. And I'll let Cam explain what exactly was the root of this, baby.
Most definitely. So just to speak on the terms that other people may see themselves in, if there's any imbalance in our lives, even if it's for, let's say, a positive connotation like showering or being clean, I think the same goes to having a clean environment, a clean room. I remember I used to stress if there's one pair of dirty socks on the ground. It's as if I couldn't go to bed. I couldn't even walk into the other room without. And so I've noticed that there's a handful of thought patterns I have when something is out of place. If it feels dirty, if it feels just not uptight and right. And for a while, I just didn't really look at it. I thought it's a great attribute to be a clean, healthy person, to always have a nice house and clean house, whatever that may be. But I started to realize that was coming from a place of fear. And so growing up, again, this is no fault on my parents, it's just how they were. I think they were both, especially my mother, very, very clean. The house felt always as if it was spotless. I think my mom took multiple showers a day, dad took multiple showers a day. I don't know if the shower thing was really that big for them as it was for me, but I know it was big for me. And just, basketball practice or whatever it was, I'd always be outside working out, doing something. And I lived in Las Vegas, so it was always 110 out. So you're sweating buckets every single day. And so for my parents' sanity, they're just like, take a shower. And I think just like many other things we do as a child, we kind of take it the wrong way. And I felt as if I wasn't clean enough for them. I didn't have everything situated enough for their liking, or at least I didn't meet the standard that I saw my mom have for the house or cleaning in general. And so I adopted habits that would allow for me to have that same standard of, I would say, extreme cleanliness. And that just manifested over the years in multiple showers a day. Like I said, anxiety around a dirty sock on the ground, where that may be. And so that's where it started. And you were really the first person to point it out, to make it conscious for me to understand that it seemed a little imbalanced. That seemed a little excessive. And let's look into why that's in place and what we need to do to free ourselves from that. And so I'll let you handle it from there.
Yeah, I think that the major thing I noticed is that he would shower even when it didn't make logical sense. And this is when you know that a behavior is motivated by a very, very deep subconscious program that you probably picked up in childhood, which is exactly what he just said. I remember you telling me that when we were going through this experiment, you had these memories of getting in the car after basketball practice and your mom or dad saying, "Oh, you smell so bad."
Yeah, I cracked down the window.
Yeah, and they like would almost make a show, or it felt to you that they were making a big deal about you being dirty, you being stinky, and then you took on this identity of like, I smell.
Yeah.
And then you were terrified to smell. So it's like, oh, I've got to nip my smelling in the bud, right? And these things are developed in very small interactions like that. I have certain programs that happen to me that I do to this day that all happen because of one small comment someone made in middle school, right? So it doesn't take much for something like this to develop. But when I started to notice that Cam would shower when he was already clean in my eyes, he had done nothing but walk around the house a little bit and then was like, all right, it's time for bed. Time for my shower. And he wouldn't go to bed without the shower. That's the big thing I noticed, as I would just roll into bed and be like, baby, you coming? He's like, no, I got to take my shower. I'm like, So just to give you little clues, when you notice that someone is doing something, that your partner, your lover, the person in your life is doing something that doesn't really make logical sense, this may be a sign that it's coming from a deep, deep subconscious program. So when I brought this to Cam, basically in a playful way, as a little challenge, say, what would happen if you didn't shower for 5 days in a row? That opened up the no shower experiment. Thank you so much for watching that clip. I hope you enjoyed it and felt a little love or joy sprinkled into your day. If you want to watch another one, you can go here, here, or somewhere all around here. I hope you have a great day. Bye. Love you.